We are super excited to have Annica and Monica on today on Embrace Your Life TV. And let me tell you a little bit about Annica and Monica. Annica and Monica are known as the Gluten-Free twins. They are mentors and educators with a passion and desire to help people achieve better health. So you're going to want to listen to this, you watching. You're going to want to listen. In 2010, after years of health issues, Monica and Annica were diagnosed with celiac disease. I hope
celiac?
Celiac?
Yeah, like a yak, like celiac.
Yeah.
That's how my simple mind, I remember it's like celiac. Well, don't say it like that because that's really bad. That's not part of it. Yeah, okay. Celiac. You had a great Omar. Great.
Right, awesome. So celiac disease. And they have been on a journey ever since on how to improve health and easily live a gluten-free lifestyle. Both have powerful results that the body can heal, and living a gluten-free lifestyle is simple and fun. Simple and fun. So
I like it. And so I'm gonna, is it okay if I start?
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
Great. So I'm super excited to have you guys on because some of the things that, like, well, I guess starting at the beginning, we first saw you two at a class that was a 3-day course a while back. It was probably about 2 years ago. And we both individually met each of you. And I remember complimenting your guys' outfit because it was so cute. But you guys have great style, by the way. But yeah, I remember you guys are always like, you were willing to play 100% and you were going full out. And actually, through that, we saw you guys at other courses and things. And I've heard a little bit about your guys' story, but I want the audience to kind of know. So kind of give us like the background of, you know, what started this journey into gluten-free and like how you guys kind of came about. Because I've heard some of it, but I want to make sure everybody else gets it.
Oh, for sure. You want me to start then?
Yeah, that's where it started.
It started with me. And so I am Monica, just to clarify who is who. I am Monica, and this is Annica. And my journey began where I was really sick. I had gone 2 years with massive rashes on my body, 90% of my body. So if you think of like a little rash, it turned to boils. And so I had these boils that were unbearable. Like I remember soaking in vinegar baths. I was doing Epsom salts. I was just trying to get relief. And 90% of your body is a lot to cover. And
it was like from her neck down. And it was in the summertime, I remember, because she was like
so miserable.
She could hardly wear clothes, and it was hot, and it was awful.
Like it was like hours in the tub just trying to soak because it was like clothes didn't feel good. And so I went to dermatologists and different doctors, practitioners, trying to get, you know, about health is whatever's showing up on the outside, or outside is an indicator of something going on internally. And so I sought after, of course, dermatologists, thinking it's on my skin. Well, they gave me lots of things to try, which ended up with my skin being very, very thin, so you could see through my blood vessels. And it just got to be bad where I was like, we've got to do something different. And so I went 2 years like this. And then I read an article. It was in the paper about celiac disease. And I thought, well, I'm going to go talk to this doctor. I'm kind of a go-getter. I'm going to go find some answers. And I went into him and I said, hey, I want to get scoped. And he's like, I'm not going to scope you. You're in your 30s. You just don't do that. And I'm like, no, this, my hands. And
do you guys know what a scope is?
No, actually.
I'm like, when we say that, I think we need to explain that. Okay. Like,
an endoscopy.
It goes down your throat into your small intestine. Then you can see internally what's going on. So it's one of the treatments you can have done. But it goes down through your throat, and the scope, it takes pictures, and you can see internally.
And you're not awake. You're like,
Okay.
You actually don't want to have them done very much because it can stretch your esophagus, and that's an expensive and very costly surgery to have fixed. So there's other ways we know to get checked first. We didn't know beforehand, but I just went this route. Like, okay, I need to know what's going on inside, so I'm going to take my camera with the tube and go down. Well, they did a colonoscopy, which they went up the other end because you actually can't eat together. So you have to go one end and then the other. It doesn't like combine. So you have to go. I went both ways because I didn't know. Yeah. And so they said, oh my gosh, you have celiac disease. Like, and it's not just a little. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was 0 to 9 at the time. Yeah. We keep changing the numbers, but 0 to 9 was normal, and I was 247. So I was so far off the charts. I had no villi. I was malnourished. I was
and the villi in the small intestine are like little finger-like things, and that's when when you eat food, everything goes in and it goes into your system. So you get all your nutrition. Well, with celiac, they're like up down. So it's literally like a dry bed of river. So it's like nothing goes in. So you eat all this good food, and it washes out. And so when she's saying like the villi are nubbed down, all these wonderful things we need in our small intestine were taken off. So that's what, you know,
led us on that journey of, okay, well, now you need to live this gluten-free lifestyle overnight. Like, it wasn't like, okay, you have some time. It was like, hey, do this overnight because you need to get better. And by the way, if you have anyone in your family that has like similar genes, get them tested. I'm like, she does.
Right? I have a twin.
Yeah.
we do everything together.
For sure. Not the scos, though.
Let's go in and do this together.
Yeah. So then that began her journey, but hers is a little bit different because it's the same disease, illness, disease,
and like Monica was having outward symptoms. I really wasn't. My biggest thing looking back was I was struggling with infertility. We had gone for about 10 years with wanting to have another child, and we'd done everything under the sun, medical, I mean, anywhere from natural to very medical things. Our second round of in vitro, which is anybody's ever done that, it's very costly emotionally and financially. It's really quite the journey, and getting no results. Like, the doctors were just like, we don't know what more to do for you. And so that's where I was struggling with, was infertility, and it was a very quiet journey.
But we didn't know infertility was such a big indicator.
And so when she said, hey, I have celiac, here's a little bit of information on it, and one of the top symptoms was infertility. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can totally do this. I can do a gluten-free diet if that's what I have as well. But I didn't know. So I went in, I wanted to know where my markers were, it's like Monica's saying. And so I chose to go in and have a scope. I had blood work done as well to kind of see where I was at. And when he looked at our pictures at the end, and he's like, you guys look exactly the same, identically on the inside as well. So we were both having as much damage. It just, hers was,
you were 199, weren't you?
Yeah, my number wasn't quite to 200. So I still had, really high numbers. Still, I had charts. Yeah, and they call it asymptomatic celiac. So that just means I didn't have any outward symptoms. But looking back over my health plan, well, actually my gums were I was having bleeding gums all the time. My teeth were I was having a lot of enamel wear away, and so I had to have all these like replacements in my roots, and it hurt so bad. Well, I didn't know teeth had to do with it too, because you're not getting any nutrition. Infertility, like I said, was huge. I was having massive headaches. I mean, headaches up the wazoo. It was awful. And so just as looking back, I'm like, well, I kind of have the symptoms, but I would have never associated it with celiac. And where it wasn't on my skin, I didn't have the rashes or anything. Yeah. It was good to know that there is that asymptomatic, so people could be going around not realizing they even have it, like I was, and then until I went in and had the internal scope and then realized where my numbers were, which I feel is such a blessing, because without Monica, I would have never gotten tested. And then through the journey of healing, like we said, have amazing results with having our beautiful little baby. Our little Jedi is just such a miracle to us, and it gives people a lot of hope, because they said, honestly, like, they didn't know what to do to help us to have more children. And we got pregnant all on our own and he's beautiful. I mean, he's 8 months old now, just such a sweet little baby. And our story is to help people so that you can see the body can heal to such a degree that to create life again was huge. So we love to give people hope in that matter. Monica's skin cleared up, having a baby, and so that was just the start of the journey. So
my skin cleared up really quick. It wasn't like months. It was within a matter of weeks. I was doing so much better.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's where we began.
Yeah, no, I love that. So actually, I remember hearing you speak about infertility, and that was before, and you said, I know there's a baby inside of me, and I know that I'm supposed to do this, and I'm connected, and it's just the journey of getting there. And so I saw on Facebook a while ago that you did have a baby, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's crazy, like, it's a miracle, but it's an amazing one, and like such an inspiring thing. So congratulations to both of you for your journeys, and like, what I know you guys have so much more ahead of you, but like, it's been amazing to like see that, because I do remember sitting in that class, and I remember being like, she's gonna do it, she was so gonna figure this out. And then I think I was actually not pregnant, it was like right before I got pregnant, because I remember getting pregnant right after that. So we have a daughter, she's 14 months old, and so I don't remember when it was that you were talking about it, but it was back kind of either right before or right around the time that I got pregnant. And I remember being like, this is an amazing thing for me, and she's so gonna do this. And so I remember seeing that on Facebook, and I'm so happy for you. That's so amazing. So yeah, super inspiring.
Yes.
Okay, so you kind of explained what celiac is, or I guess the cause of it, right? Like what happens. So what are some of like so there's like the skin, there's internal, there's like gums. What are some of the biggest side effects that are most common with it?
Yes.
Well, the interesting thing is there's over 300 symptoms. And 2 years ago, there was only 200 symptoms. So they've added another 100 symptoms. Yay! So we like to keep track of just keeping it really simple for people. When people show up and they want help and resources, we're like, okay, here's some key things to look for. Brain fog is big. Brain fog, you are tired, you're exhausted. Okay, you can go get blood work to get things checked, but just keep in mind, brain fog is a really big one. And that could look like our brother. He was going to college, and every time he would eat it and then go do a test, he couldn't remember what he did. So he was like having a hard time going through school. As soon as he cut out the gluten, he could think better. And so that's a big one too. Well, and then too, a lot of it kind of could be misdiagnosed with like IBS symptoms. A lot of people either they can't keep their food in or out. So they're having throw-ups, having diarrhea, having a lot of stomach pain. That tends to be like the number one.
Diarrhea this time.
I did. We talk about the ins and outs.
Oh, I love it. That's fun.
We all have this body, right?
I did say it this time around.
I know.
But it's true. Okay, so that's a huge indicator. I mean, I watch with my children.
Yeah.
Okay, if my kids, if I'm realizing the food's not absorbing in whatever manner, if they're throwing up, obviously you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
If their diapers are a mess and you know that they're having diarrhea, okay, you know something's not absorbing in their system. So it's easy to say if they're spending the time in the bathroom more than they are anywhere else, then maybe that's something to get checked out because you're not absorbing your food. So I would say IBS symptoms, which a lot of people are familiar with, those stomach problems. That is a huge indicator because it's hurting your tummy area, your small intestine. So, well, I don't think we even covered with gluten. I mean, gluten comes from wheat. A lot of people don't realize that. And we had to do a lot of research. When we were diagnosed, our doctor said, here's 2 pieces of paper, good luck to you. And I have the disease. He has the disease. And he goes, I have it, but I don't live it. Good luck. And we went, I cried and said, I'm going to die. It was literally the words out of my mouth. It was like, what do I do now? Because the doctor I'm going to, he could test me, but he couldn't help me. And so, yeah, it definitely began. We looked at each other and was like, well, we have each other, so we'll figure out what to do. And we love food. We just needed to alter some things and educate ourselves. That's why we teach education is huge. One of the other big indicators is headaches. A lot of people get headaches and they don't know why. Well, the foods you eat can be an indicator with that too. So headaches is another big one. Well, we had some friends that ate gluten-free lifestyle. We didn't know why. They never educated us. They were just like, yeah, I just eat gluten-free just because. And we're like, okay, there was not that education behind it. We eat it because we have the autoimmune disease, which our body actually attacks itself. Whereas those living like a gluten-free, like if you're just sensitive, you won't have those villi destroyed. You'll be sick, but it won't be attacking your body. So there's a big difference between, and there's a lot of reasons why people eat gluten-free. The symptoms, they go, okay, check my symptoms, why? But there's a lot of reasons why, I believe. I mean, honestly, like ADHD, a lot of like patients will get diagnosed with ADHD or something like behavior-wise, and they'll say, go live a gluten-free diet. Well, okay, so that's to help again with the brain, and that people they'll do a diet because don't claim to do that at all. Maybe share a little bit more how the weight is just upflows. Like it's been amazing with the emotion side of living with an autoimmune disease. So there are reasons why people do it. Like we're saying, we do it because we have an autoimmune disease, and we didn't realize we had it until we were diagnosed. So that's what took us on our journey, and we were looking on the internet for help back then, and it was like nothing. Like honestly, we were like, we knew what it was. We knew that like there are now. So that's why we started creating what we did, because people were showing up in our lives and saying, hey, how do we live it? We know you guys have it. How do you do it? And we're like, oh, I guess we can help people. So it's a big buzzword. It is. You hear it all the time, and it reminds me of like when low fat came out. I don't know if you guys remember like when the low fat diets came out. Yep. And I think it's gone onto the background. Oh, it's a gluten-free diet. And it's like, oh my gosh, I remember being that way going, that's weird. Like that is a weird thing, and like I've had to really humble myself and go, actually, it's a life-changing thing for us, and so we do it for a real health benefit. And so not jumping on a fad or a diet. This is a lifestyle. We will live this the rest of our life, or we can choose to be sick. Yeah. And so that's why we do it. Not claiming to have it, but it's easy.
It is totally doable and easy. I don't even think about it. It's like brushing my teeth. I just do it. It's just so natural.
But the thing at the beginning, we felt so overwhelmed, not having a resource, not having help, not having any. We couldn't go to someone physically to talk to. Our doctor said, "Good luck." we were on our own. Research, we've had our personal experiences, and so that's what we say. It can be fun and simple because we really consolidated to help people, so it can be simple and fun for you.
Yeah,
because life is fun. But when you're feeling sick, it's not too fun.
Not fun. Like my goal was to get out of bed. That was my goal when I first got diagnosed. And so people see me and I'm active and I'm doing things like, oh, she hasn't struggled. It's like, that was my goal from the very beginning, was to get out of bed. I wanted to play with my kids. I wanted to do things. I wanted to be with my animals and travel. And I couldn't. I was limited big time. So, yeah, not anymore. Right, go there.
So I love, first of all, that you guys have the support of each other because you were both going through it. Because a lot of people try to go through it alone, and like any diet, I like struggle with just like dieting alone, but not even for like the health effects of that. Just feeling better, I guess. It can be really hard. And so when you have somebody there to help you and kind of go through it with you, that's amazing. So I just love that you guys have that. So you kind of talked about it. So you saw that this was like people were struggling, and you guys said, okay, so we can we can help people, we can do this. So at what moment did you guys decide to go in business together and just say, you know what, we're just going to go full force, let's be the Gluten-Free twins and just storm Utah and other places and just take it on? Like, what made you guys?
Before we go there, can I ask a real quick question? This is kind of like more of a so I've been hearing gluten-free and everything, and I've seen, and the food really tastes really good. You know, I thought gluten-free was, you know, going to be some, and this is just me, is some food with no flavor, maybe, at least was what was going on in my mind.
Yeah, like the cardboard texture.
Yeah. Right. And so I haven't really seen any of the symptoms for, from gluten, but for somebody who doesn't think they have any symptoms, but they're trying to live maybe this gluten-free lifestyle, what benefits can they see if at least as far as they know, they're not getting any of the, negative side effects from gluten?
Well, I see a lot of people, I mean, it's a great question because we get asked that a lot. And I see a lot of people, they want to live a high-fat diet, but they want to leave that low carb. So they're looking for things that they can have healthy high fats, because we need fats in our diet. And so cutting that out, like the things that aren't healthy, like pastas, if you're eating pasta all day long, of course you're going to gain weight. You know what I mean? So it's cutting back, going, okay, where can I put in the healthy fats? And this is gluten-free or not, but a lot of gluten-free people do this. They eat a lot of good, healthy fats, and then they cut back on the carbs that aren't healthy. They're not doing good for your body because it's processing. Your body has to process it. It's more energy. You're not doing so good, and you're kind of tired after. I mean, I was always tired after I ate a big meal that had a lot of the carbs in it. So when they cut that out, they're like, okay, well, it's low carb, but high fats. Good, healthy fats.
I'd say, like, the best benefit is energy.
Yeah. Yeah, because then they feel
thinking
better.
clearly, like the mental thing, and then also having more energy in the body. That's one of the benefits.
Really good, if it's done right. Yeah, because at the beginning when it tasted like cardboard, oh man, we stopped just eating bread because it was like, this is disgusting. And the crackers, it was like, no, not happening.
Well, it is a $1 billion seriously, $1 billion market right now. It is huge because there's a lot of companies that are jumping on board and helping people so that they can have mixes, they can have quick stuff. And so, it can be kind of a shift for some people going, well, I'm going to go buy this brownie mix and it's $6 if it's gluten-free versus it's 98 cents if it's not. And so, just making sure you're doing it for the right reason. And what is your why? What's your reason why? Like for us, you heard where we were at. We had bigger whys and why we wanted to switch our health. So for us, it wasn't hard. Like that said, our mind switched and we were like, hey, we're going to do this. We had to learn along the journey. And that's what we try to help people with, is to really simplify it, because we can tell you which products we really like, how to go eat out. Where do you go to travel? What questions do you ask? What other ingredients are you looking for, not just wheat? Because that's an easy one.
We can't even lick a stamp. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
We cannot lick stamps.
I just nailed that. And I'm like, I don't want to lick that one again. Like, Little things like that, like not playing with Play-Doh. You can't play with Play-Doh. It's really learning those other things, not just cutting out bread and pastas. It's knowing, okay, I got to look for other things, and we can help with that too as we go with the TV segment. We can help you to know that area too if you want to know more about that, because it's not just cutting out bread. There was a lot more that we learned along the journey. Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's really cool. That's awesome. So really quick, would you recommend somebody who maybe doesn't, so you talked about the why and doing it for the right reasons, but so let's say if I just want to be healthier, is that like a good reason to try gluten-free and kind of see my effects of it then?
I love that you said it can try and see my effects. That's key number one. Now, okay, this is Monica and I's take on it, because we get this asked all the time. Should everybody eat a gluten-free lifestyle? No, we don't think so. It's a personal decision, and you kind of need to know where you're at. We're not here to like diagnose or prescribe. That's why we've got good doctors to do that. Our job is helping after the diagnosis with what things has really helped us to have good results.
Well, even our families, for example, I've had my kids check, they don't have it. I know the markers to watch for. They do eat gluten. They do. I do buy it. Our house is different. When we were first diagnosed, our house was set up like, it was like a red flag zone. People couldn't have bread in the kitchen. I couldn't go in a bakery. Like, I was I don't think people even understand how sick I was. You do, because you were there. But it was like, I had to be really careful. Kids touch bread, they had to wash their hands. I was like overly protective. Now I'm like, I'll make a sandwich for them or cook them some pasta if it's not gluten-free. Like if they ask for it, I'm like, okay, you shouldn't be deprived just because I have this autoimmune disease. Now, they know if I see indicators to watch for, they know darn straight they're going to go straight on. Because like we have a 12-year-old son, and we do. I know. Me and my husband have a 12-year-old son. They kind of do get two moms, though, huh?
Yeah. And he was having major headaches a while back, and I was like, I was just watching, like when I was saying the indications, so going, like this is repetitive. Is it something you ate? Did you hurt your neck? You know, he plays soccer, so did you get hurt in soccer? You know, did you get hurt in something in school stressing you out? Like I went through all the questions, and he knew I was watching to see if it was gluten, and he's like, I don't have celiac. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm like, okay, buddy, but I gotta watch that because I know where you started, because I had his blood drawn to see where he started, because that is important, especially as they're growing up. If they're malnourished, they're not getting the nutrition they need. That is critical as they're going from kids into adulthood. And so we're really aware of that watching that. So yeah, it was just funny the other day. He was like, I don't have it, Mom. I don't have it. But at least he knows good foods to eat if that did ever surface in his face. He knows now. So
yeah, he's totally aware.
What one doctor educated me on is it can be in your body. You can have autoimmune diseases and such where you have your genes. Your genes make up part of your health. You can have those, and then until you have like enough stressors or triggers that kind of flip a switch. Yeah. It's kind of like flips a switch, and you're like, why did all of a sudden this become activated? Does it mean I've had celiac my whole life? Well, they don't know necessarily. I haven't got anyone that said they know. It's just watching to see if that flip gets switched. Switch gets flipped.
Well, because they say it's genetic, and this is always our question. Well, our parents were checked. They don't have it.
Our grandparents don't have it.
They don't have it. Our children don't have it. So we've got, all this, and me and Monica are right in the middle. Okay, our siblings don't have it. So me and Monica have, for some reason, we have it. So if it's genetic, wouldn't everybody else have an indicator of it? So yeah, that's just the question.
Well, the doctor just told me, because I had emergency C-section, it was really intrusive on my body, and I really struggled after that. There's enough stressors going on in my body, and she said it could have been a possibility starter that your body couldn't tolerate it as much. Because we study a lot what's going on with the food industry, like studying what's going on with food and what they're doing with wheat. It's the more research, it's not even recognizable to our bodies. It's not the same wheat that was grown decades ago. It really isn't. And so, yeah, we've got these sensitive bodies and then stressors in life, and of course there's going to be like a major reaction, I mean, to me it's just common sense now. Yeah. I didn't know that years ago, but I do now. So we watch that.
Because like, I love how this goes, because it's so interesting to me, because they keep saying, oh, they're going to come out with a pill or a vaccine or some type of thing that you can eat the gluten and then be okay and just take the pill. And Monica and I are going like, we're seeing a bigger picture here going, there's something going on with the foods. Like there's something that all these bodies are now starting to react. So why is celiac on the rise? Why are all the symptoms on the rise? We're going, oh, so we're just going to cover it up with
type 2 diabetes.
Like this is like getting our stand going. This is how we feel because we're not in, because we've been asked, will you be a part of the study? No, we don't want to be a part of a study with a pill or a drug because we really feel like what's going on with foods? That's just like covering it up in a sense that well, I can have my donut and hot dog and be okay. I'll just take the pills. Like our bodies are huge, giving us the message that something's not all right. And you know, so for us, we're going the wheat. What were they doing to the wheat, the protein, that gluten in the wheat that our bodies are not even recognizing? So that's where we're like, no, we don't sign up for that program. We're about helping. Well, because we have results. We have our results. And I actually just read a study this morning that says that people aren't getting better. So they're getting diagnosed and they are not getting better. Well, I just went in for my blood draw before I found out I was pregnant, and I don't even have any indications of celiac. So since 2010 to now it's 2016, so I was pregnant last year, 2015. So for 5 years, I was working on healing my stomach and small intestine. I don't have any indications of celiac at all in my blood. So I've had healing happen. Why are people not getting better? Why that study I just read this morning?
Like people are not getting better, and they think they can cheat on a diet. They think they can, I'll just get away with it a little bit. It's like a grain of rice. It's 1/8 of your fingernail is all it takes to get sick. So I don't have to eat a whole pizza. I don't have to eat a sandwich. A crumb. A crumb is what it takes for my body to go into and your body to go into a massive reaction with having celiac. So this gets me all fired up. How?
No, I love it. Actually, that's what I heard a while ago, that the same orange or apple that you would have eaten, that I would eat today, is nothing like what my grandparents, my great-grandparents would eat. It has like a minor, like not even 50% of the nutrients in it that it would have had back then. And so we have to eat more to get more, but when we eat more of that, we're actually getting the bad things that are in the food now as well. And so you're not just like eating for nutrients, there's stuff that's inside that. So I love that you guys talk about that, because I don't ever tell anybody that, because people always think we're like little cuckoo and cray-cray, but I love that you said that, because it's so true. It's not the same food. Okay, cool. So let's go back to the business side. So I really want to know. So what did you, I guess, what was the deciding factor for you guys in, we're going to jump full force 100% into this? Because I know when we started our business, we had to jump into it. It was like a flip switch, and we were like, okay, we're in. So what was that switch for you guys of, yes, we're just going to go full force and just do this together?
I was kind of laughing when you're asking that, because I remember at the beginning, we would just give ourselves away for free. It was like, I remember somebody came over and I spent hours. Here's my pantry. I was going through all the foods that I eat. I was like taking notes, like having them take notes. I was giving everything that I did, and it was hours. And at the time, my son was a little bit smaller. So, I mean, he's now 12. So he was, and I was like, that was time away from being with him too, and doing something else I could have done. And I remember going, I was exhausted after one. It was so fun to give and help someone. And at that point, I was like, I can't do this for every client that comes in the door. And the thing is, I don't even know if they even took and did what I told them, like what I suggested, because there was no investment, there was no involvement. It was just like, oh, they're just going to give it away for free. And I remember going, this ain't going to work for us if we're going to really go and help people, because that was our desire, to help people. We wanted someone to help us in the beginning, and we didn't have that resource. So we went and created it. And so
we had like things that we went to, but it wasn't like a set up gluten-free community. Does that make sense? Like we have a great body worker, and we have a chiropractor. We have people that we are connected with to have healthy bodies, but it wasn't like, okay, research gluten-free. It didn't pull up stuff. It didn't pull up anything to like go as a resource, other than like maybe a few recipes. I remember that going, well, I don't even eat that food. So yeah.
So that honestly, we just decided then, it was like, we're not going to give ourselves away for free. We're going to help people and have a lot of options for people. That's the same. At the beginning, I felt like we were just, all our time was investing in, we're just going to help. We're just going to be that. Yeah, that kind of mentality, like, and it switched like that, and then people started coming that actually wanted to get better, and they did something with it, and that's what we wanted to help people. We really want to help people who are, they're going to go take the action steps after and do something, and then come back, okay, I've got questions, now what do I do with this? Those are the people we love to help, that actually are going to do something and use the time wisely. So that's what switched in us, and then we decided, let's make a business out of this. and interesting watching with the Gluten-Free Twins, because our company is actually Core Frequency. meaning the core of who you are and the frequency you put out in the world. Well, people couldn't remember that necessarily. We'd go to events and we'd be, you know, teaching on stage and helping, and people wouldn't necessarily remember that. And one time we were on, I think it was Channel 4, we were on one of a TV station, and the co-anchor said, "It's like the gluten-free twins," and we're like, we looked at each other and went, "That's what we need to change." We like that. So then we started switching to the gluten-free twins, and the name became available online. So then we switched the, you know, so the websites, the Facebook, the Instagram, and people could remember that. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're twins and they're gluten-free," and it just made that great blend. And so over time, that's what's been fun, is it's transitioned into the gluten-free twins under our company Core Frequency, because we do help a lot of, I mean, we help in schools, we're helping with doctors, we're helping in a lot of areas, not just with the gluten-free twin name per se. So that's where we turned it into a company where Core Frequency with the gluten-free twins stuff.
I love that. That's cool. It just like stuck.
Yeah.
That's like the best way to get stuff too, is when somebody else says it and you're like, yes, that makes sense, because they like are telling you what they see, and you're like, okay, I can receive that. So that's really cool. I love that.
It's like, how are people going to remember you? Like, so think of whoever's creating, you know, the people that are listening, you're creating something, you're envisioning, okay, have these good ideas. How are people going to remember you? Like, what is your message? What are you putting out there? This is part of our message, so it is easy for people to remember us, and we're really fun and real. Yeah.
Yes.
We should change it to the real gluten-free twins.
No, we just switched
not search the real gluten-free twins. We offer a lot of things. We offer a variety of things that people, any level, any stage of health and healing, they can join in.
Which is so cool with social media. So you doing this broadcast, I mean, this is so cool, because you're helping people all around the world. And so there's ways you can connect for free, that you can choose into, you know, with Facebook, with Instagram, with our YouTube channel. We just started a YouTube channel. I know. And then there's other people who want to choose and to have more of the personal. So then they can come in and they can choose to be mentored. They can choose in our class. We have a brand new video series that's coming out. It's so cool. It's our Back to the Basics class we taught, and we teach in the public. Well, now it's in a recorded series that anybody around the world, they can download it and they can have that class. So there are ways people can watch us over and over and over.
It's more
right. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can connect.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's cool. Okay, so you kind of mentioned mentoring and helping other people in other ways. So, I mean, one of the questions I was going to ask was, how has gluten, eating, I guess, a gluten-free lifestyle helped you in mentoring? And I think I got the answers, most of it. It's like, obviously you feel more energetic, you're better, you know more about the body because you've gone and you've studied the body, which you know the effects of things that aren't just gluten, I'm sure. And so is there anything else that's like totally helped with your mentoring inside of being gluten-free?
Well, we live our life with gluten-free. I mean, we're really, when we're helping people, this is something we do. So we're not just saying words to say words. It's like, this is something we do every day. We're very mindful of what we put into our body and with our mind. And so,
well, I was going to say, as far as the mentoring too goes, because we study the organs a lot. So what do the organs have to do with the body? Why is the small intestine being targeted with celiacs? Like, why does it hit that organ? Well, in our studies, we found, well, that organ is what you choose to keep and let go. Like, okay, think of how your digestive system goes. It's going to either choose, I'm going to keep this, or I'm going to let this go, and it's going to move on. Same with emotions. That's how my weight loss journey, like letting go of weight, it was all emotional. It was all 65 pounds in 7 months was huge to let go of. And then I started eating some other gluten-free food that was like packaged. People send us stuff. I started gaining weight again because they replaced the gluten and they fill it in with sugars. So it's a really key thing to watch when you're reading your labels. We teach a lot about label reading. Check what you're reading and eating, because we were like, why are we bulking up? This is weird. So weird. And so because our diet is really important, but so is the emotion part, is what I'm trying to say. So emotions are really important. You know, doing journaling in the morning or doing release techniques. Mentoring is huge. Mentoring, I mean, it is another thing that people are doing in the world, and hiring a mentor to have someone with you as you go along that process, because I don't know everything. I can't watch all my behavior. Annica's great. She's great to be by me going like, okay, you're having a pattern again. Let's go. What's going on? It's like, oh man, you saw that. And that's what I love about being a mentor and having mentors is they watch you. you can have so much information that you can try and do by yourself, but we're not designed to do it by ourselves. We're not. I mean, we're just not designed to live life by ourselves. And so that's what I love about mentoring is it's just, I could eat, leaf, breathe, mentoring all day.
Monica's pretty darn amazing.
So are you. It's good.
You guys are so fun. Okay, I love it. So talking about the mentoring side, so actually one of my mentors actually just recently was like, okay, you want to get connected more, got to connect with you. That starts with your working out and your eating. So I love that you guys are throwing that in there to your mentoring clients, even if they're not gluten-free. Maybe they don't want to have that diet, but they still need to be aware of what their body is doing, because it's such a huge piece in success to know what you should and shouldn't eat, whether it's gluten-free or it's not, it doesn't matter, or it's organic or whatever it is for that person, but just having those insight and those eyes to be able to see it and say, hey, change your diet just a little bit like this.
Yeah.
I love it. Can I ask another question? I'm full of questions. I like to talk, if you guys haven't noticed. So what is like the word's like, that's funny. What is the best advice that you've ever gotten from a mentor that you just treasured and loved?
Well, and I've had a mentor since I was 8.
She really has.
I have. My mom saw value in me at a very early age. I thought I'd say it. She saw value in me, and she knew that there was something about my personality and who I am, and just, you know, that motherly instinct. Dads have that too, but I'm a mom. I can't come from a dad's experience. So she saw great value in me early on, and I always had people in my path that I had as mentors. They were there, and I would learn wisdom. And our mom was a phenomenal body worker. We love our mom. She has just been there for us, and she is one of my favorite mentors. And
It's like she took the 37 years of her research in health and then passed it on to us, and we've watched that. So like we felt like we just got this huge
blessing.
Absolutely, just when she teaches us all the time with.
So I'm going to say her favorite thing that she's taught us since we were very little is your body is your book. You're like, every book's going to be different. Every book. You know, we're different. Even though
you can't compare.
Yeah, you can't compare. But get to know this body. There's certain things you can do to, like you said, connect with your body and your experience here. So getting to know who you are, the food you like to eat, the way you like to think. We think differently. Can you tell? Well, people want to put us like, oh, you're exactly the same. We're similar. We have a lot of similarities, and oh my gosh, our core, we're right there at the same, but we are different and unique. And that authentic part, we love helping people find their authenticity. Yeah, say that. I know. We should go to English. No. Next up is English 101 from the But helping people go, okay, you've got this body. We've all been given a body, all of us. And how do you connect with it? Because it's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect the way you communicate. It's going to affect the way you move in the day. We move differently, so it's good. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm talking. I love when Mom taught us that. Like, you know, this body is a book, and you can go research information, you can get education, but a book is a book, and your body is going to be an experience too. So that's kind of the basics behind it. Get to know this body and know what's working. Like, you know, you had mentioned that getting to know the foods and things that work for you. We help people with journaling a lot, keeping track of the foods they're eating, how they feel after. What are the thoughts they feel after? What are the emotions that come up? I mean, if you're going for a certain food all the time, gluten-free or not, why are you going to that? These are triggers that are happening. And then how do we adjust? We like to use the word adjust because it's like, let's just take a slight turn. It doesn't mean you're totally off your path. You're going to still be going forward. Just slight adjustment, and you'll still be moving forward just with different results, better behavior, clearer thinking, better relationships.
I know for me, when I was doing this, I was realizing I was going for sweets all the time. And I was like, and I started reflecting, what am I trying to sweeten in my life? We're looking for that sweetness in my life, like literally. And I was going for ice creams. I was going for sugars. And I was really sad not having more children. And that really took me to a very low of being a woman and wanted to create. I wanted to have children. That's what I've always wanted to do. And it was like, okay, that wasn't happening. And so
you're kind of like Betty Crocker anyways, and so
I do like to cook.
She's a baker, and so
I went to sweets, and I was like, I would feel good for that moment, and then I would be like this big letdown. It was like, until I was at a very, very, very happy place before I found I was pregnant, which I think is key. I found a really good place in my life. And then when I found out I was pregnant, that just added to the happiness. It wasn't like, it was so interesting watching my 12-year-old Landon and then my baby Jedi, how I feel as a mom with 12 years in between. It's like, oh my goodness, I am so satisfied as a mom that having this little baby, it's just added to it. But it wasn't to fill me in a place, because I was looking for that sweetness before. And so it's really, the mentoring part has been huge, because it's helped clear out all the mental garbage, all the behaviors.
Well,
all
you
the
kind
things.
of felt broken. We both felt broken getting this new diagnosis. And then I got 2 more right on top of that. I was like, what the crap?
You got diagnosed with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, which
and chronic migraines. Like right after, I was like, what the crap is going on? You don't just get one and then there's 4 extra. Not buy one, get one free, you know. It's managing that, going like studying autoimmune and the power behind not feeling that broken. And that's what we love to help people come together and connect somehow where you're not doing this alone.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm switching it in the mindset. I was feeling the broken and damaged internally.
Yeah.
So I switched it to I am perfect and whole and complete. Just that switch in my mind and affirming that over and over. Even if I was just sitting somewhere, I would just remind myself, I'm perfect, I'm whole and complete where I am. In the moment right now, I'm doing my best with where I'm at. That helps switch in my mindset very well. So for the whole infertility and becoming pregnant was like, I worked on my mind. I also worked on my body. Those two, it was like hand in hand. So that was key for us.
Not us, but us. Us.
Cool. So I want to share something. So some people, I guess people that are close to us know this, but a lot of people don't. So we've been married for 6 years now, almost, coming up in August. And so for the first 4 years of our marriage, we weren't not planning kids. We weren't like planning them, but we were like secretly like wanting kids. We weren't going to plan it, and nothing happened. Nothing at all. And so we started doing the mentoring thing, and we had other people like mentor us, and we started like, I actually like started working out and eating healthier and like doing the things I need to do. And it's so funny, the same month that I hit my goal weight is the same month I got pregnant, because I was finally happy with me. I was so like, I felt good about me. And then, you know, it was like obviously mind stuff too, but my body, like I was happy with who I was. And the second that I was whole and complete, I got pregnant. And so some people know that, some people don't. But yeah, it's kind of cool, because I can totally relate with that of like, I felt like a failure. And there was a lot of times too in that we were like, I remember being like, you should go get tested, and I should get tested. And I actually went to the doctors, and they were like, try this and try this. And I do not stick with like pills. I don't like pills. So I was like, I refuse to swallow these. I don't want to. And so it was a really big struggle, because like, I think we were both scared, like emotionally and physically, that like we weren't going to be able to have kids. And so it was creating that we're not going to be able to have kids. Right. And so I love that we have our daughter. She's such a big blessing. But I just think it's cool, because like, I've tied it together before, but I never put it in that, like, I'm whole and complete, and that's what made us able to have our baby. Yes. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, because I just remember being so scared. I was like, what if it's me? What if, you know, I remember just not even wanting to go to the doctors, because I didn't want to know. And so when we finally started, you know, eating healthy, working out, started working on our minds, our bodies, and everything, it was
with an intention for us. It wasn't about that. It was about us and getting better. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. So you guys have given us so much information about, you know, being gluten-free. So people that are watching this right now, so if they have a question like, so what tips or, you know, a certain direction would you point them so that they can start to see if a gluten-free lifestyle is for them? What would you say to them?
Well, you can contact our office. If people email us, then we like to make videos about so we'll make videos weekly, sometimes every other week, or it just depends on the questions we get and what's going on with the events we're doing. And so if they email our office, it's always the best way, because either we can reply there or make a video about it. Because if someone's asking the question, there's more than one person that has that question. It's common sense. And we still live the life going, hey, we need to make a video about that, because sometimes it opens people's eyes to what they are. Maybe they haven't experienced it yet, but then they're going to be going through life going, hey, I didn't realize that and remember that video. So videos have been really good for people to see that we're real people, not just behind a computer, you know, answering emails. That we actually love to make videos, because we'll go try something. We try restaurants, we do food, certain foods.
And if someone's really, I would consider doing, I love that advice with email in our office. Connect some way. So social media is great way to connect. Come to an event we're doing. There's a lot of ways. Also, doing a food journal is a good way. We love helping people with that. Start seeing what you're eating so you can track it. Because sometimes with gluten, you can eat it and like you don't react for 2 to 3 days. Yeah. So how do you know what I don't remember what I ate a few days ago. Do you guys? I mean, yeah. Because I have this cool mentoring tool. It's like called journaling, and so I track my. Okay, there's a mentor. Most people don't track their food, and so that's a good way to know. There was one gal that she was having a religious sacrament, and she was eating all gluten-free, and she realized by tracking that she was getting sick on a Sunday, and then she would not feel good for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then still feel better, and then start all over again on Sunday. So how would that feel to be sick on, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then start again? To find out why. Week after week, and all it was the sacrament. So a religious sacrament can be, people don't even realize that. With whatever religion, there's a lot of religions that do either a bread or some sort of cracker. They're eating and what it's a huge way for people to get started and seeing if it is a wheat, if you're take it, could be an indicator that maybe you have an issue with gluten.
But I do want to say something about that. If you are planning on getting tested, the gluten has got to be in your system for at least 3 weeks. That's what all the studies we read. Don't cut it out and then go get your blood drawn or have a scope done and then go, oh my gosh, well, it doesn't show, and then I ate it again. Starting marker, because it's going to show that protein. The antibodies need to have a reaction in your body, and so we always suggest get the blood draw or anything else that we suggest to with ways to get tested before you cut the gluten out, if you want to know. Yeah. If you don't care, we've had a friend that did that. She didn't care, and she just cut it out. A few friends, actually. Yeah, they don't care where their starting markers are, but then they need to know where their health, as it progresses, where the indicators are. So, yeah, tracking is really key for us with health. Staying connected socially. So we love having our Facebook channel, the Gluten-Free Twins. That's always really fun. And then our YouTube channel where we post videos. And then we are on Instagram now. So that's fun to watch for those kind of things. And then, of course, our what's it called? You know that thing they go to who we are? A website? Our website. I'm really good at mentioning. So I'm there. See, it's like the left brain and the right brain. He's actually complimented as the whole brain. So yeah, it's
Okay, cool. So really quick, what is your email for your office? Is it office@corefrequency.com or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, office.
Yes.
Below too.
Yes, we'll post a link below. And any links you guys give us to give people more.
Instagram, Facebook,
all those links. We'll definitely add them so all our viewers can go check them out.
Yeah, it's fun.
So really quick, I have one more question.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you guys have coming up? What are your current goals and ambitions and desires for this year, 2016? What do you guys?
See, you know we're always creating something, huh? We're doing something. People go, when you're smiling, I know something's going on in your head. Yeah.
Well, the video series that we talked about a little bit before, that's going to be available coming out. So that's going to be something you can purchase. And we'll have a link on our website. No, I just went blank.
I know.
On our website, we'll have a link on there that if people do want that video series, they can tune into that versus coming to a class. So I think we've had people all around the world that they can't fly in necessarily across the world. And so they're like, this is a great way that people can come and watch, a great series to help people. It's called Back to the Basics. So that's coming out really shortly. So that's going to be really fun. People can choose into that website. We've got some great, can't tell you the names of them, but they're coming out. We've got some really cool audio coming out. And then there's a really fun event, and it's limited. It's an exclusive event, and it's going to be happening at the end of the summer. And so that's fun with the lineup we have coming, and it's a getaway kind of retreat type thing. And so that's coming up, so we'll be posting a lot. We have requests for things, and then we start thinking we should really pull it together. So we're joining with another company that's very successful, and so it's going to be really fun. A lot of successful people coming to that, and it is going to be exclusive. So that's like so excited for that.
So look forward to that coming up.
It's like we can't like say stay tuned. It's gonna be really, really cool, and it's all gluten free. So people are wanting to have, because it's a retreat, and so all the food, we have this amazing caterer that's coming and cooking. So well known, and
I'm hungry now.
I
Just
know.
think
I know, I'm kind of hungry too.
all hammered. It's this beautiful.
we'll be there for sure. So
that's going to be a fun one. So watching for things that we're posting for that coming up. That will be happening in the end of the summer.
and our radio show, we've got 2 that are going to be happening. So look forward to those. We'll post everything on social media so people can stay connected as the details get wrapped up. So yeah.
So there's just a few things.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
We've got our book. I'll end our book. Yeah. We've got a book. Yeah. How to build a business from the bathtub. It is fantastic. It's a good book. It's good. Yeah.
Good.
Yes, you can say the name.
I give the rights for things. It's good.
That's exciting. I know we are just venturing into obviously this TV show, and then we have a retreat coming up too. So I totally like see your excitement. I'm like, it's so exciting. It's so cool.
Well, and we're moms too, so it's like it's summertime with our kids and family, and like we're real people. Yeah, we're real people, and we have real life. So we do a lot of traveling. Some traveling coming up this year. It's gonna be fun to hope people stay connected to watch the adventure. It's gonna be,
I mean, because thinking of like going to travel, some people don't. They get too scared. They're like, where am I going to eat? So we'd love to help people as the summer starts coming and people are camping and going on vacation. So that's a great. We'll do lots of tips and trips with that. So yeah.
Cool.
All right, awesome.
Well, I think that's good. I'm good. Do you have anything
Yes.
else?
Oh no, I'm like excited.
That's awesome. I love having you guys on. You guys are so much
Yes,
fun.
you are.
The energy between the two of us.
Thanks for having us.
yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah, we loved it. It was our pleasure. Really.
All right. Well, everybody, we will post the links below. And if you have any questions, they'll have that email address. You can totally reach out to them with any questions that you guys further have. And thank you so much for being part of it. And for you guys for being a part of it, and everybody else watching, thank you so much for tuning in.
Our pleasure.
Welcome.
Okay.
Hey guys.